Hey, what's up? This is Michael.
And this is Ryan. Welcome to All Day Unpacked again.
Hey, we are back. Another off-season special. I'm telling you, the season's getting closer. I mean, I love it. It's like training camp is in this next month of July. So it's kind of starting to like heat up a little bit, starting to, dust off some of the old moments, look at them, get me excited. I started kind of actually going back through some of the reward moments from last year, like the Road to 100 moments. And there's some good ones in there. Like, I didn't realize like how some of those rares have become kind of bottlenecks, and they're sitting value wise up in like the $300-$400 range. It's crazy.
Really? Which ones are you,
T Higgins and who is the other one? I think it's
is that T Higgins? Is that Road to 100?
Yeah, that's a Road to 100. And those are like, so those wind up actually being some of the most like expensive rares on the marketplace now.
But they actually have to use Road to 100 to make that kind of a bottleneck. You realize that,
but
right?
I'll tell you what, it feels like they're going to use it though, right? Like they've got like that set. It was like there's no legendaries. It's all rare, uncommon, and common. It feels like that's a really good set for them to use, to kind of just to see who was like, because if you played along all last season, if you did everything, then you got it all. There's only 82 people who do though at max.
Right. Yep.
So CD Lamb, there's only 82 of him. He's going for $449. T Higgins, there's only 85 of him, going for $475.
CD Lamb's going for $449.
Well, because again, he's the bottleneck. He is the lowest.
I understand, but I didn't realize he had gotten up that high. Holy shit.
Yeah. And then I'm looking here to see if there's any others that are really up high. Let me just do a quick little
just dropping $475 on T Higgins. Oh, God. It's got to be painful.
But it's like, what if they gated a lot of the season stuff? Like, remember they gated a ton of historicals last year? It wound up coming down to having that Larry Fitzgerald.
I know, but
legendary.
You just never know what they're going to do. That's the thing of it is just like.
Yeah. After T and CD, Kyron Williams rare moment 106 is at 225. And then Patrick Mahomes actually had a Road to 100 moment last year. Only 150 of those, and that's going for 180. So
Road to 100 is not a bad set.
Yeah, no, it's actually it's a kind of a low key slept on set that, again, no value yet because it just really hasn't been utilized. But boy, I tell you, I would be really shocked if they don't utilize that set in some capacity this season.
True, but could anybody realistically say, I'm going to buy a T Higgins rare and not buy that Patrick Mahomes instead? I would have a tough time pulling the trigger and buying that T Higgins. If you got it, if you're sitting on it. But I'm just saying, like the Patrick Mahomes debut just sitting there pretty much at the same price point. You'd have to be a maniac to.
Well, but so yes, I completely agree. Unless they make some sort of really desirable, like what if they make it so it's like you get, first shot at whoever,
ultimate
Drake May, or like first shot at Marvin Harrison Jr. legendary dynamic rookie or something. Like, if there's something really, really valuable gated on the other side, I think people will pay for it. So we've seen people do that before.
Right. Now let me ask you a question, and I just want to clarify. I'm pretty sure I know the answer, but Marvin Harrison Jr. didn't sign that contract, but that only affects like merchandise.
No, it would have affected All Day, but it did clear up.
Yeah. Oh, it did. Okay, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah.
There you
go.
So
he cleared up. You can buy his jersey now. Everything's good to go. So it's not an issue.
I was unaware of that. You learn something new every day.
There you go. That's what the show's all about. Learning new stuff, man.
Learning
all right.
growing.
So let's talk a little bit about some of the kind of, I don't want to say surprise burn challenges, but some of the kind of the pop-up burn challenges, right? So we've got the playbook, stuff going on right now, but I've been really interested in to get your thoughts on what are you seeing with the kind of those burn challenges that are popping up every week or so that they're getting kind of some of the old packs out, and actually some of the premium old packs are coming out that way.
Yes. Listen, what they're doing is great. When they're burning the right moments. I see a lot of rares flying off, and my personal favorite was the Joe Burrow and Josh Allen debut commons from the original series, like burning. They didn't burn a bunch of them. I think it was like 61 Joe Burrows and like, or 61 Josh Allens and like 20 some Joe Burrows. But again, it's like, just wear those numbers down. I think that's what we're all hoping for. And it's like, to me, awesome. Great job. Fantastic. Keep doing stuff like that. It's like that. This is the kind of stuff that we need, but we just need it in droves. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, no, same. I like, I mean, I can tell you that they're going over well in the Discord. People are really liking them. They're high participation. You're getting sucked up in like 15 minutes. So obviously people are being drawn to them. It's a good way to burn like old collection to get like kind of lottery tickets for, some really cool, potential legendaries in some of those packs, some really good rares in some of those packs. So, I like it. Like I keep missing them just due to like being in like a meeting or
Having a life.
Yeah, life. We'll call it life, my real life. And so I've missed a bunch of them, but again, like I said, I see like I'll check out the Discord afterward just to see like what people are saying, and I see most people are like happy about it. So it seems like they're going over well, which is good. I'm glad that they've kind of got that straight.
I've missed them all so far, and you know what? It's like I see them and I'm like, oh, damn, I missed it. But I don't mind that I missed it. Like, great for everybody else. I like to see that like other people are getting it, and it's like, again, we're just burning up some of the stock. It's like, just keep hitting us with that stuff. Just keep burning.
I will say it's funny though. It's like I know that you and I are kind of like, if we miss it, we're like, hey man, good for the people who got it type of thing.
Oh, I
but
know.
Man, you still get some of these pissy people in the Discord that are like, wah, I missed it and blah, blah, blah. It's like, hey, you're not going to get like, I think we've gotten really spoiled with all like we don't realize that like there was when All Day first started, you weren't even guaranteed to get like one pack when a pack dropped. Like, I mean, it was like a really contentious market at that point. And so now we've gotten to the point where it's like, if we don't get every single thing, we get spoiled and we're like upset about it, man. I mean, people are going to be in for a rude awakening if this product ever does take. I mean, if it even takes off in the slightest, I mean, it's going to take All Day time to adjust their mint counts. And so there's going to be some season in the future where the demand is going to just be so heavy compared to the supply. And there's going to be just a shortage of moments. And there's going to be a lot of like long time, people like ourselves who are not going to get what they want. So,
right. I mean, I'm not going to hold my breath on that front. I'm happy if the product survives at this point. But I mean, like, I guess, I mean, the whole thing is it's like anything in life. It's like you buy when the market's down. It's like, and the whole thing is we both love this product. We both like it. We enjoy it. The market's beat up. It's if you really want to make money, everybody's worried about making money. Oh, my moments aren't worth anything. If you ever want to make money, buy it when it's down and hope that it's going to go back up. Because again, you got to find something that's beat up, and this is beat up. I'm sure Top Shot is in the same boat.
Oh, it is, for sure.
Yeah, I was even checking out the NHL Breakaway, where I noticed that the moments were like, there's not a lot of moments that are very cheap out there. So it's like, I don't know what's going on with NHL Breakaway or whatever it's called, but it seems like some of those are actually holding a little bit better. But maybe it's newer or something to that effect. So.
Yeah, and it's lower mint counts and such, so I don't think that's a Dapper product.
No,
so
it was higher.
What's that?
Oh, it was actually, some of them were higher.
Oh, really? And they're still holding the value.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that, I mean, don't quote me on this. I'm not the best at this, but I'll say I believe the lowest one was like $2. That was the lowest one I could find.
Oh, I see. You're saying like the lowest common was $2.
Correct.
Okay.
So maybe it's still riding that initial high,
What do you know what common mint counts are?
Boy, I want to say like I think they were like in the 10, 20,000 range.
Oh, wow.
I think. Right. I feel like, don't quote me on that, but they seemed high.
We heard it, quote.
Yeah, exactly.
Watch for the Twitter post.
Exactly. It was like 1 million, I think.
All right, so let's shift gears. Let's go over to, we're talking about like kind of the surprise burns for the moments that were like the past seasons. What do you think about the new vintage sets that are coming out? The new vintage locking challenges to get, they always do like one rare, one legendary for that. What are your thoughts there?
I like it. like. You're just talking about the fact that we're locking them, or what are you asking?
Just anything, just
Okay.
anything about the vintage sets whatsoever.
So I like the vintage moments. I think that they've hit on some divisions better than others. I think, like, again, I feel like, and it's not because I'm a fan of the South, of the AFC South, but I thought the NFC South they hit on well. And I think we ran through this in another episode, but I feel like the AFC and NFC South they did well on. Like the NFC North, they didn't do as well. And I like the fact that we're locking them down, but I really do think, like, just for once, just take like one division, just one division, and just all the packs that didn't get bought, burn them. Just please, I'm begging you, just do it one time with one division. Just see what happens. Like, again,
yeah, I mean, it feels like most of the packs are getting bought.
No, I mean, like, if you go to, like, I mean, again, if you were to, like, go to, like, let's say the Cleveland Browns and look and see how many rares are still in packs. Now, again, these could be packs that are being sat on, but I feel
there's also those team packs.
There are. I understand that, but I'm just saying, like, I would love to see them say, you've got until date X to buy these. If you don't, they're gone.
Yeah.
And just, like, say, like,
yeah.
And they're not going to do that. But I would just like to see them do that with a product. And they did it, like, one other time. They said they were going to, like, remember they were going to lock them away for 2 seasons or something like that. I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, for a long time. It was, I want to say it was last season. It was when they did the, not launch codes. It was when they did the 2 common sets. It was the move the chains and make the stop sets.
Okay. Maybe that's what it was.
If you didn't buy those packs, they said I want to say it was like 3 or 5 or 10. It was like some obnoxious number of seasons.
Right.
So they were like, they're gone. That's it. They're not coming back for that long.
And I don't know if they've actually held up to that. I
haven't seen any of those moments come out, so I would assume that yes, they did.
Right. So again, I would just like to see them just kind of like take a couple gambles here. It's like, I understand that they got to make money, but, like, let's try something a little wild here with, like, just take the NFC South and say, boop, all these are gone, like, all of a sudden, LG Crumpler's worth something now. I mean, again, let's just see what happens.
I do like the idea of just burning the unbought supply and just saying, well, all right, the demand wasn't there, it's gone. Like, that's that. Now, obviously that's going to hurt their bottom line, but we're going to, we are in a future episode, obviously going to talk about their bottom line and how we think there's some ways that they could do some things to achieve that same bottom line and maybe kind of improve the experience. But
sure.
That kind of brings me to my next question, which is pack pricing. So right now you can get a vintage, and I'm going to start on the high end. So apologies to anybody who wants to go low end, but I think we start with the high end just because to me it's the most drastic, the biggest drastic number difference. Mm-hmm. So last year, when you started off last year with the dynamic moments, you could buy a pack that was, you were guaranteed one dynamic legendary moment and some rares, but only one legendary. And that pack cost $999. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was last year. That was last year before the season started. Now, we have seen, obviously, so even in last season, we saw that tail off to, that was the first release, and then we start the demand start coming down. By the time it hit that fourth release, that mid-season release, you were buying a pack with one legendary and it guaranteed in the same rares, and basically the same pack as you bought back in that prior to week 1 for $9.99, and you were now buying it for $5.49.
Right.
So $5.49, and you were guaranteed one legendary. I think there was a 10% chance or something you got a second one.
Sure.
So we saw a significant drop. Now we're looking at vintage legendaries, which again I'll give you is different. But now for $300, you're guaranteed 2 vintage legendaries, and so it's making me wonder. I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Like when we go into this next season. Now that we've seen, so we know that last season they ended at $5.49. Mm-hmm. What is the pack price for one legendary and a couple of rares going into season 2024 when we know there's going to be rookies back in the fold? Like last year we had the potential of like the Bryce Youngs and the CJ Strouds and the Jordan Addisons and the Zay Flowers and all those guys were out there. And so now we know we've got like Drake May, Caleb Williams, a bunch of other quarterbacks. I'm sorry
Sure.
that they all slip my mind at the moment, but and then good receivers like Marvin Harrison Jr. And so what do you think they can get away with charging for a pack with one legendary and I think it was like 2 rares is what you got last time?
Okay.
What do you think they're going to get away with?
Right. So let me just start by saying I think I'm still on the side of what we were talking about last time, and that all packs are created equal, and that they should be distributed like that. But let's just say that they refuse to do that. They're not going to do that. I would say, my guess is they're probably going to try something in the 5-something range.
So pick up where they left off at 549.
I think so. I think it depends on the mint count. Obviously it depends on who's in there. Are they shooting for the fences in the first round? Let's just for shits and giggles, let's say they throw Caleb Williams. They throw a lot of the big dogs like right in there. There's some big.
They're going to have to because people want those moments right off the if you look at last year, there was no time. The only moment that sold for more after week 1 than before week 1 of all those dynamic legendaries, I believe, was CJ Stroud. Every other one sold for less later in the season. He was the only one that significantly went up. I shouldn't say the only one because I know Zay Flowers. I think Zay Flowers went up a bit. But my point being that most of the dynamic moments of the 180 or however many there were, most of them started high and then went down. Very few of them started. Right. And the ones and I will say that there's a few that you can make the case this went up, but some of those were involved in locking challenges later in the season too, and that really boosted the price. So I'm not counting locking challenges. I'm just saying, that's a little, that makes it kind of look like they're worth a little bit more than they really are.
So let's just run this through real quick. Like Caleb Williams, based on the scenario you're giving me, how many Caleb Williams rares and legendaries are there? Are
30 legendaries, 300 rares, just like last year.
330. Here's the thing. I got to think that they're going to try something in the $500. If they can't sell those packs for a decent amount, what do they got? That's why I don't like that method, because it's let's say they put those packs out for 5-something and people aren't buying them. Yeah. It's then that just almost makes the ship start to sink right there. I don't like that. Again, if they just did I hate to keep harping on it, but it's it's if they did universal packs, you get what you get. Yeah. If they went that route, I feel like it's a safer route, but it's like you've mentioned, they're going to probably start high and hope that everybody buys them, but then they're going to step them down if people don't. So it's as collectors, it's we're almost better off maybe not buying them, because if we hold out long enough, they'll drop the price.
Well, right, but the hard part about it is that it's going to be hard for them to, knowing that they left off at 549 last season, it's going to be hard for them to go much higher than that. So I tend to agree. I think 499, 549 is probably a good starting point for the season. But they may just say, hey, look, these are going to be the rookies. We're throwing it out for $9.99. Let's just see who bites. They may just start ultra high again. Or what they may do is do $9.99 and you're guaranteed 2 legendaries or something.
Again, I feel like they keep going down the same street, and that is that they keep making more legendaries. So it's I understand the legendaries are going to be debuts of these certain people.
Yeah,
it's just they're not doing something right. Something is not working because the product is not gaining popularity. So I would just stop them right there and say, you're doing something wrong. But if you're going to keep banging your head against the wall, then I would just keep doing it the same way. But to me, it's just, again, they're just walking down a dark path.
So I'll say, we get comments on some of the stuff that we post, obviously, and one of the things that we saw feedback wise, kind of against the idea of just having one unilateral pack, is what's the advantage for the big dogs, right? If I'm a big dog and I have the same chance of pulling Caleb Williams in my packs as as the little dogs, then it's kind of a bummer for me in the sense that that I don't get any kind of special treatment for spending so much money on the product.
See, my response to that is fuck that, and that is that it's why should you get a special advantage because you've spent more money on getting?
Because that's who's helping keep this product afloat right now.
Yeah, I understand that.
Versus,
but what I will say this is,
versus somebody who has no collection, who walks in and throws down $100, gets 20 packs, and just happens to get lucky and hit.
I mean, I feel like that's what the product should be. I just like, I don't understand the thought process of I've spent a lot of money, so therefore I'm entitled to something. I don't agree with that. Like,
yeah, no,
idea,
I'm just telling you what
like, again, like if I hold a lot of moments, it's like when it comes to the challenges, like then I expect like, hey, I've, like these should be things where it's like, I've held on to these moments. Like that's when that's when you get paid, is because it's like, that's where it comes down to. But with the packs, you have to like distribute them out to people, because otherwise you just get the same dudes getting the same stuff. It's like, that's what's happening is you get these packs that are like $9.99. Certain people go out there and buy them. It's like they hold them. This product is for like a few people, and that's why it's not going anywhere.
Right, you're right. The product is overloaded and top heavy. No, it is definitely top heavy.
And much love to all the like the big collectors out there. It's like, again,
we're not.
I've thrown a decent chunk of change at this product too. I mean, it's like, I'm not saying I'm kookaburra, but again, it's like, I've put a few bucks in.
Are you digitally rare?
No, I am not.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, again, it's like, I got to think that those guys, it's like they're buying these moments, like they're out there just like they're spending like big bucks on like the number one cereal. It's like, I don't think that they're going to be like, like whining over like pack, distribution.
I mean, I tend to agree. I think, look, I you know how it is. There's no solution that's going to make everybody not whine. Somebody's going to whine about something. But
correct.
I do like the idea of just having like, whatever the pack cost is. And like I said, we'll talk about this in the next episode. I think we're going to come back with some ideas around what they could do. But like having just a single pack at a single price that has everybody gets the same odds to pull, really good things. And I think that you reward, you reward collectors. Like I think there are, like you said, there's incentives built in for, if you have a great collection, you get early access. If you have a great collection, we'll make a special drop just for you. If you have a great collection, you get first dibs on that. It's so the idea is
I feel like there's a lot of stuff that like, again, like these challenges, like, I mean, I think it was Road to 100. You had to have all these like moments and stuff like that. I mean, again, these burn challenges, you got to have these rares. It's like, if you've got the collection, you're going to get the extra pack. I mean, again, there's so many incentives for the people that are collecting.
Road to 100 is a great example where it's like, you look at like the CD and the T Higgins, right? Only 100, like the top 100 people basically got that. So you had to have a good, like, that's not just anybody getting those. That's a good collection that's achieving those moments.
That one, who was it? It was Williams from the Rams.
Yeah, Kyron Williams.
I mean, that was like, I remember looking at that and just thinking like, okay, that one's like a little above my pay grade. It's just like some of these are like, you got to have the right stuff to kind of do it. And that rewards, like, again, like, they just got rewarded with like a $225 moment, just like because. So again, it's like,
right. Well, but to your point, if no one's, that may be the price on it right now, but no one's buying it at that price.
No, because again, like whether they distribute the packs, however, it's like, the all day has got to be the ones that make that moment worth something. Right. Like they're the ones that got to like,
that's what it boils down to, is they've got to like understand that they've like, there are ways to incentivize multiple tiers. Like they've got to make a, top tier, like maybe, the person who did collect all of Road to 100, give them the top tier reward. But, for the dudes like you, maybe who, some of those were out of your reach, right?
Sure.
Still create like a reward path so that you can get something like, and that's what's not being thought through, is they're not looking at their user base and saying like, okay, what, like kind of like, who are kind of my core groups? Like I've got my, my whales, which are like this, maybe 50 to 150 people.
Sure.
And that's this group. And then I have like my core, which is maybe, the next 500 people. And then I got my casuals, which are like the rest of the, 1,500, maybe 2,000 people right now. And basically like cater to those groups so that you satisfy them. And it's like, you want to make the people in the group below want to join the group above. And it's like, incentivize them. help them build their collection towards getting into that next group. So
Right.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that has to do with, finding ways to keep, like, I get it. They need to make money. Like, I mean, this is a business, but at the same time,
Totally.
it's like, we can watch them from a mile away devaluing the commons. Now you see the uncommons getting devalued. Then it's like the rares are like dropping to like, $6-5. It's like you see that happen.
Seven, or
Yeah, but again, it's just, yeah. There's a lot of problems, and again,
there
yeah.
are, but again,
so going, let's just wheel it back all the way back to pack price. And so I think what they do is they devalue their project by changing from $9.99 to $5.99 to $6.99. They're all over the goddamn place. When if they just did it evenly, they would stop devaluing the packs, and I think they would just sell all the time.
Here's the thing. Yeah, sorry to interrupt you, but
no, go ahead.
But exactly what you're saying. Let the market determine the value. Meaning, like if I sell, let's say it's a $20 pack for 4 moments, and I have like a 15% chance at a rare and a 1% chance at a legendary. Okay, let the market decide what those moments become worth as they pay their money out. Meaning, if you want to turn around and sell your like that means you're paying $4 or $5 for a common. You want to sell it for $1? Be my guest. Be dumb. Like, go ahead and lose money. Like, but the thing is like that. Like, and that's the problem. Is it's like half of it's Allday's fault, but the other half are the degenerates' fault for not keeping value in their own collection. Like saying, "Oh, this is worthless. I just want to sell it." Like it's like if all you're looking for are home run shots after home run shot after home run shot, and then you're just dumping the rest of your collection, that's not a collector, right? That's just like an adrenaline chaser where they're just chasing the next high. That's not, and I think like for better or for worse, that's a portion of who collects, but that is too heavy in the market right now. Like meaning there should be more base collectors, and there's too many junkies trying to hit their next high. And so there's not the balance, and that's why we're seeing so much devaluation of commons. I mean, when this product first started, commons were going like just normal commons were going for 5, 10. There was times where like you couldn't get a common below $10.
Right. But again, not to interrupt, but I'm just saying, kind of like playing off of what you're saying. They used to do, like, it felt like there was a lot more gamification or whatever. Like it felt like there was a lot more like you could do with these moments, and it's like it just became predictable. I've seen the comments where they're like, they got 3 employees left. I don't know what they've got left, but if they've got 3 employees left, it would be really easy just to go onto Discord or go on here or go to a place and just peel people's ideas and just get a spreadsheet going and just start putting the ideas down and just start taking them and running with them. And it's just, there's enough creativity out there where I feel like even if you had 3 or 4 employees, it's not that hard to pull people's ideas.
Yeah, I think if there's anything that strikes me in the employee, it's not, I don't think it's gathering the ideas that's the problem. I think it's having enough developers to program the back end to make it match whatever is being, designed. Yeah.
But I mean, I think a lot of the ideas that we push out aren't like reprogram this and reprogram that. It's like, do a burn challenge, but just make it for this or make it a burn challenge. I mean, I feel like that template is probably laid out to some degree, and it's just a matter of kind of picking and choosing what it is. I'm sure that is, but it's like the burn challenges only go so far. I guess what I'm saying is like to truly start adding value to the moments, things like tying it into a fantasy football league, tying it into like your idea the other day of, predict the bracket of the NFL into the season, predict the standings. Like those are all things that are going to take coding and testing and that. And I don't know what their shop looks like, but it sounds like it's pretty meager. So, that may be what hinders that. Maybe they may have tons of great ideas in the chamber, but they just can't execute on it because they don't have the capital, because there's not enough people in the product right now. Right. So I don't know what their business, again, we're not on that side of it. Yeah. So it's just speculation, but I think I think enough of us can do the math on, how much is selling and, what it's selling for, that there's money to be made. There's money that's being made. And it's like, there's only 4 employees. Where's it going?
I mean, yeah, obviously there's more than 4, but I hear what you're saying.
Right.
So,
I don't know if we're funding Top Shot, but
I mean, it's the same
they're
company,
probably
so I'm
funding us,
sure
but-
there's Well, or here's the other thing too: take some of the code from Top Shot and port it over. Like, bring some of the Top Shot stuff that was successful over.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what they do or don't have access to. So
Sure.
um,
But they could be more
Anyway.
transparent about that. Again, like just having somebody go out and just saying, "Hey guys, this is what's going on." Like,
Yeah.
how hard would that be?
I'm going to jump around again here because I wanted to bring this up when we were back on the vintage packs. But one thing I was thinking too is like, and I'm sure you've noticed this too, which is these locking challenges that they're doing. I mean, when they're done, the rares are coming in at around 90, 95 moments per rare, and the legendaries are coming in the low 20s. And I'm telling you,
Okay.
and so I'm seeing, that's like the generation of the moments, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's really interesting because I think like you want to talk about like something that could really fly under the radar and then really be valuable in the end is like, some of these vintage moments, like if you're a team fan of a team, if you're a team fan and, your team is the 49ers, right? And right now you
Correct.
get your hands on a Dwight Clark legendary, that's important to you. There's only 59 of those, like, right. And it's it's like a key moment. But if you're a Titans fan and now there's a Chris Johnson legendary and there's only like 22 of those, I mean, if you're, when you get to like, if this product does, again, I know probably won't, but if it ever did, like it's the whole idea of there only being like 20, 22 of a moment of a player that significant. Correct. That's a pretty low, like that. Those will make those moments very desirable in the long run.
I agree. I feel like there's some, like, I mean, again, these are low counts, and you kind of wonder with some of the players. It's like, there's a Bruce Smith and a Tiki Barber that came out that were rares. There's an Archie Manning that's coming out. Fred Taylor. Those are some of the rares. I don't know, like, the whole thing is like, I wonder is like, are they going to keep making more moments? Are they going to like, will it be 10 years from now and there'll be like 15 Bruce Smith rares? It's, that's the thing that like I worry about is like, I don't want to say that they should cap the amount of moments that each player should have, but there should be some, like, for these vintage players, like once you're retired, there should be some type of like,
they do cap them in some ways. Like you can only have so many, like a player can only have like one legendary per blah, 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 one rare per.
That's not enough to make me jump though. That's the thing that holds me back. It's like, if they said each player could have, once they're retired, can have 2 rares, 2 legendaries, 2 commons, 2 uncommons. That's it. Or maybe like an ultimate. And they said that was it. And that was it. Then I would be like, okay, there's the Tiki Barber. That's one of the 2 that's going to be available. If those get burnt, I mean, like, you could start doing the math and saying, okay, now I've got one of the Tiki Barbers. Like it means something. But again, it's like, they're just like kind of like saying, well, maybe and maybe. So
I mean, I like that. I like the idea, especially of like retired players, because really, the span of a player's career, right, is, somewhere between 3 and 20 years. So
correct.
I think what you would do is you would say like, I think you would come up and say, hey, 2 legendary, 3 rare, 4 uncommon, or whatever, like whatever the number set is, right? Yeah. And you would say, that's it. That's all that can ever exist. And so I like that idea just because it would really make, like, again, then there's like a known scarcity to it versus, like you said, like a good example would be Tom Brady, right? So
I was just going to bring that up.
There's going to be a Tom Brady vintage coming.
But there shouldn't be. Like to me, like when I look at the Tom Brady moments, if you look at who's the highest on every single, like you look at common, look at rare, look at legendary, Tom Brady, Tom Brady, Tom Brady. There's only 3, maybe 4 Tom Brady moments at all. It's the most beautiful thing. I repeat, do not fuck that up. Like that is one of those things that is so.
There is no, and look,
listen. There's Deion Sanders, there's Emmitt Smith, there's Lawrence Taylor, there's all these guys. Do not, like, again. I feel like wait 10 years at least or something. It's like the Tom Brady moments. There's 10,000 debuts right now. It's like there's one comment out there that's still $50. Let it be what it is. Let that be the moment. Let it just.
I hear you. I know. You gotta. Come on. There's not a Tom Brady.
I'm gonna put my foot down.
Okay, but I'm just gonna tell you right now.
Gotta let it be.
There's gotta be a Tom Brady Patriot moment. There has to be one. You can't.
Okay, hang on. Then you know what it should be? It should be an ultimate.
Fine.
I can live with that.
Tom Brady, I think, already has an ultimate, doesn't he?
I don't think he does.
I thought he got one of the 1-of-1s. Wasn't he one of the 10 guys?
Those are fucking bullshit. I don't know.
I know they are, but I think it still counts.
The Genesis moments?
I'm looking right now. I feel like he does, but maybe not. No, he does not. Okay.
Good.
Well, I shouldn't say he does not. Hold on.
How many moments does he have?
He has the rare, the playoff rare. He has his common debut, and he has a legendary.
And that's like, I swear to shit, like, if they come out with like another 10,000 moment of Tom Brady, they are the biggest fucking idiots in the world.
I don't think they will. I think
any high play, no uncommon, just
okay, no ultimate. But here's the thing: they gotta make a rare or a legendary. Like, there's so many moments. Like, look,
save it for when he goes in the Hall of Fame.
What's that?
Save it for when he goes in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, and I think they will. I absolutely think they will. But I think you gotta, when he goes in the Hall of Fame, I think you got to be buckled up for some Tom Brady moments.
I think maybe if they did 2 for the class, like the Hall of Fame class that he goes in, and I could live with that. But I mean, that's years away. When he's retired last year, he's 1 year out. That's 4 years from now.
Yeah,
I'm good with that.
Okay,
just, I'm just saying.
I think and I think because I think the appetite for a Tom Brady would be tremendous. Like, I don't think it would impact the Bradys as much as you think it would.
How many Peyton Mannings are there?
Are there any?
I don't think there are.
No, I don't think there are either.
So it's like, again, I would say, don't worry about Tom Brady. Get a couple Peyton Mannings out there.
Yeah.
That's the thing that's like they're sitting on all these players, and then they're running.
Sitting on a dozen, 20, 30, like you said, Deion Sanders, Walter Payton, Barry Sanders, Emmitt Smith.
Yeah.
I mean, we could go up and down. Like, they're sitting on some of the greatest players in the NFL. Like,
and I think that's beautiful.
Yeah, no, but they shouldn't blow their wad. I get it.
Right. But stop making Brian
Jerry Rice. Jerry Rice doesn't have a moment yet.
But Brian Urlacher's got 50,000 moments.
I know, because it's like, that's what they do though. It's like they release a guy and then they're like, oh, he's released, we can release a few more, rather than they know when they pop the cherry on one, like, that's it. Like, when that guy goes out, that's it for him. Like, that's his thing.
But it would just be so cool, like, get a Lester Hayes or get
they will get to that point. It's just they're trying to pace themselves, which I respect.
And I get that, but there's so many like I guess what I'm saying is that guys like Wilbur Marshall, Lester Hayes, Ray Guy, I can't think of anybody like Roger Craig. We're naming a lot of Raiders right now. Lyle Alzado, like all these guys, like nobody's going to know who they are in 20 years. So it's like, put them out now why people actually like want them. Like, there's like an age group.
I mean, I think you run the risk right now of nobody knowing who some of those guys are. But
I know. So it's so it's like, get them out now.
Although, I mean, I do appreciate though that they like, for instance, like NFC South. I saw Gerald Riggs in there. Like,
beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying, like, that was like, I mean, I would have liked to have seen a William Andrews, but hey.
Yeah. Maybe a Mick Luckhurst. I don't know. Lynn Kane, I don't know, but
Lynn Kane, yeah.
Hey, Billy White Shoes Johnson. I mean, like, where is the legendary of the Billy White Shoes Johnson catch? Where the fuck is
it Falcons or Oilers? Who would get that one?
Falcons. It was Falcons.
I think he started with the Oilers, dude, didn't he?
No, but it was a Falcons moment. It was Falcons 49ers, dude.
Yeah, but he did that. Anyway, I don't know enough about his history to know where he started that move.
No, but I guess what I'm saying is remember the Hail Mary catch?
Oh, you're saying use that Hail Mary catch where he did the dance. Okay,
right. Again, like these are some of the moments where I'm just like, oh my God, how do we not fucking have these yet? I mean, these are sub players like that, Anyway, I won't go on a tangent. Billy White Shoes Johnson.
We got you.
Exactly.
We got you.
Exactly.
Get off alone. All right, so hey, let's lighten it up a little bit. We're gonna try a new little thing. It's we're gonna play a little game where I am going to give you, it's kind of it's an all day would you rather. So I'm going to give you two moments that are relatively equal in price. I'm going to tell you which the moments are and give you any like details that are relevant. You're going to tell me which one you'd be investing in. Okay.
Okay.
All right. First one. I'm going to go right now. They're both commons. They both had 10,000 mint.
Okay.
They're both sitting at about $13. It is the Josh Allen, quarterback for the Bills, Josh Allen debut versus the Joe Burrow debut. Who are you investing in and why?
I think they're both a great investment, but
they are. But who you picking? Where are you putting your dollars?
I'm putting it on Burrow. And the reason I'm taking Burrow is because I feel like Josh Allen's kind of had like his window. The team's kind of starting to fall apart. I think he's a good quarterback. I mean, there's always a chance that he could win it, but I feel like Joe Burrow's been hurt. He's kind of been plagued by injuries, but when he's been healthy, they've had a decent shot. So I feel like his ceiling is pretty high, and he's pretty damn good.
No, here's the thing. I'm gonna agree with you 100% because here's the deal. Burrow got to the Super Bowl, and they were within a drive of winning that thing. So he got hurt last year. A lot of people slept on him. I agree. Burrow's the play there. No,
but I think Josh Allen is like, don't be
he's
stupid.
Not a bad, it's not, again, I'm not making, if these were easy, it wouldn't be any fun. So,
exactly.
All
right. Okay, Burrow.
Now, this one you're a bit of a homer on, but I'm going to give it to you anyway. All right. I got two rares that are both sitting at around the 130-ish mark. We got the Justin Herbert rare debut. And we got the Trevor Lawrence rare, and these are both rare rookie debuts. Sorry,
got it. Yep.
Or no, Herbert was
they're three bangers.
Yeah, is Herbert's a rookie as well, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so these are both rare rookie debuts. Roughly the same mint count. Actually, they're in this both part of launch codes.
Yep.
Both sitting at 134 right now. Who you got, Herbert or Lawrence?
Justin Herbert, and I'm going to tell you why. Because Justin Herbert, Jim Harbaugh. I feel like they've got I'm just going to say the Chiefs have done pretty well for the last couple seasons. Normally, historically, like teams just have like an off season. I feel like, that Justin Herbert was so goddamn high. It was such people were just going nuts. People really believed in him. And I feel like it's just like, he's actually got a shot to do something this season. And I feel like the Chargers are going way under the radar. I don't know how good they'll be. The one thing I'll say about the Jaguars is I love my Jaguars, but they've got a tough schedule this year. And so the stats might not be what everybody likes it to be. So it's like, if you're thinking like own the moment fantasy stuff or something like that, I feel like Justin Herbert might have a higher ceiling in that respect. And I don't like to play stat guy, but I'm going to play stat guy. So I here's the thing. You cannot, in my mind, it's like, if this product is going to do anything, I feel like you could pick either one, but I'm going to go Justin Herbert.
So just to clear it up, Herbert is not a three banger. Herbert is a debut only. He was a rookie the year before. Yep, he was a rookie because remember he got his contract last year. Trevor Lawrence got his this year. So Lawrence is the rookie debut. I'm still even with that. I'm still going to go with the Herbert. I just wanted to clear it up just so you understand that you what you're.
It's the debut of Herbert, and again, I think that
we can agree that the most expensive rare right now isn't a rookie moment. It's a debut for Patrick Mahomes. And there wasn't, to your point, there was a time where the debut for Mahomes was sitting at like 2K and the debut for Herbert was sitting at like 1,800. They were neck and neck there, especially going into the season a couple seasons ago,
right?
Before everything kind of tanked or whatever. So
and one thing I will say just quickly is that there is a number 14 Trevor Lawrence out there, serial number 14, going for $350. And I feel like if somebody wanted to really, if they believe in Trevor Lawrence and think that's the one, that right there, I think is a steal.
Yeah. Too bad it's not number 16. All right. Next one. And by the way, I agree. I think Herbert's the safer play there. But I do think Lawrence has more upside. I think he's got he could, if he proves that he's worth that contract and the Jags come back and play well this year and maybe CJ Stroud has a bit of sophomore slump, Lawrence is the home run ball. Herbert's a safer bet, especially with Harbaugh there now. All right. Okay. I got a Jamar Chase rookie debut common.
Okay.
Versus a Justin Jefferson debut. Now, The Chase is a couple bucks more at the moment.
Mm.
But they're both 10,000. They're both commons. They're both 10,000 mins from Series 1. Chase rookie debut versus Justin Jefferson just regular debut.
Because of Joe Burrow, I'm going to choose Jamar Chase. I kind of actually I like Justin Jefferson, and I feel like that, again, these are both great moments. We know that. The thing about Justin Jefferson is he's got like three. Well, I guess no. Jamar Chase has got a lot of legendaries too. Again, it's the three banger.
Yeah,
I feel like Joe Burrow's got a lot of upside. I feel like the Vikings are kind of, you don't really know where they're headed. You got a rookie quarterback. Could be a great story. Again, it's kind of home run ball versus getting on base. So Jamar Chase, that's kind of a layup to me. You got any thoughts on that one?
Yeah, this was actually one of the tougher ones for me. I guess I lean Chase just because, look, Jefferson is the best in the NFL, but that almost makes it so he's got nowhere to go but down, right? So that's why it worries me a little bit. Whereas, I think the Bengals, again, flew a little bit under the radar last season. So I could definitely see them, if they come back with any type of vengeance this year, they could, do some damage there.
Absolutely.
All right. Here's another one for you.
All right, let's hit it.
All right. I got the Brock Purdy rare debut, his rookie year debut rare.
Okay.
Versus Tom Brady's rare, one and only currently rare moment.
So it's the debut of Purdy versus...
It's his rookie debut. So it's his very first mint ever. They're both sitting at about 190, 199-ish.
I think Tom Brady's more than that. Tom Brady's
let's put it this way. They're within...
Sure.
As I did the research on these, they were all within a few bucks of each other.
Exactly. I think that's a layup, and I think it's the Tom Brady. I think that's one of the easier choices.
Okay.
I like Brock Purdy, and I think he's again, the thing about Tom Brady, and I'm not even a Tom Brady fan, is he has no downside at this point. Tom Brady can't do anything to go wrong anymore. He's already cemented himself. Brock Purdy could get hurt and fizzle out. So now, to me, again,
just to give you the full stats,
sure.
They're both going for $211.
Okay.
There are 1,200 Brady's, 26 have been burned. There are 570 Purdy's, 11 have been burned.
Still the Tom Brady.
All right. So I'm gonna finally disagree with you here, and I'm gonna go with I think that because the Brady rare has no badges, it has nothing special outside of the fact that it's only rare. I think there are better vintage Brady moment rares coming that will be much more sought after versus a Purdy rookie, which I know a lot of people think he's a game manager and such.
No, I don't. I think he's a great player. I'm
not saying you. I'm just saying there are people out there who doubt him and blah, blah, blah.
No,
I don't think he's a top 5 quarterback per se, but I think having a rookie moment of a solid quarterback of a team that could easily be a Super Bowl contender or winner, I'm going to go with that. So I would take the rookie. I'm taking a rookie moment of a quarterback like that. So
how about this? I always say this, that Brock Purdy could help you more in the short term, where I think Tom Brady could help you more in the long term. That would be my thought.
I hear you, but let's say Purdy wins 2 Super Bowls. And I'm not let's say he becomes an Eli Manning. I think an Eli Manning rookie card is going to be worth more or rookie moment is worth more than than a Tom Brady, just regular old, one of his moments that exist.
Yeah, here's the thing. If they keep pumping out Tom, if they make more Tom Brady moments, sure. But if they don't, again, I feel like they have the golden egg here, and it's that they've only made 3 Tom Brady moments, and it's just don't fuck it up. Okay.
All right. Next up, we got 2 more rookies. So these are both rookie rare debuts. We got again, exact same price. We got Micah Parsons versus Amon-Ra St. Brown.
I'm sorry. I'm just going to stop you there for a second. Do me a favor really quick. Go into your all day. Go into Commons. Okay? Search Commons.
Yep.
And search high to low just for Commons. And tell me who your number 1 moment is right now.
Oh, did someone just price somebody way up there?
I guess there's just one for sale or something. This just in, Dwight Freeney has now jumped into first place. He's worth $9,300 as a comment. I was just like looking to see where some of the highest rated comments are, and it's Dwight Freeney is not working with Tom Brady. That just made me laugh. Sorry.
Well, that's good to know. I think I have one of those moments. So
right.
I'm
sell it.
Just made
sell
myself.
It.
I'm going to sell right. I'm going to undercut this guy and sell mine for $89.99. Hold on. It's a bargain.
Yeah. So okay, I'm sorry. I interrupted. What do you? Go ahead and go.
That was well worth the interruption. We all enjoyed Dwight Freeney's brief run as the most valuable common moment on All Day together.
Yes.
Okay, so I've got the Micah Parsons debut rookie and the Amon-Ra St. Brown debut rookie, both rares. There are less of the Micah. He's like in the trenches, so I think he's like a $6.99. Amon-Ra is like a $10 or $11.99. So there are significantly more. I think maybe $8.99. Mike, I can look it up now.
Man, I don't know about that one. That's actually that's really close, because I'll say this: Micah Parsons he's a Cowboy, and so the Cowboys always generate like a lot more fans. So there's always going to be more desire to have him. But again, he's kind of starting to piss people off with the Cowboys. So I think just based on that, now that I've talked myself through it, I think Amon-Ra St. Brown. But if you'd asked me like 3 or 4 months ago, I would have maybe not said that. I just think I'm going with recent news that Micah Parsons is kind of maybe working his way out of Dallas.
Oh,
so
man, I hope he does. I hope he works his way out of Dallas and right into Chicago.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to go with Amon-Ra St. Brown, but again, it's like he could he could get injured, and then that could change dramatically.
To be clear, there's a pretty significant. There's like about 700 Micah Parsons left. There's about 1080 Amon-Ra St. Brown. So there's a pretty, Micah Parsons is definitely more rare, but again, the offense always is going to pull a premium too.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what I'm thinking. I wonder how long Micah Parsons is going to be as relevant as he was a couple years ago.
Yeah, I mean, I wish he'd get off the Cowboys just because I don't love. Yeah. I mean, again, if you're a Cowboys fan, then you love it, but if you're not, then you don't. So, anyway, So you're taking Amon-Ra?
Yeah, I am, and it's like it's always tough when you compare offense and defense. So I think I got to take him. Probably
it is, but if you got $100 to spend, where are you going to spend it?
That's a great question. I mean, boy, I tell you, if you gave me $100 and you said who to buy, I'd probably buy the Micah Parsons.
Yeah, I mean, I tend to agree just because like Amon-Ra is a phenomenal receiver, but he doesn't have the like he's not that level of like Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, like where you are like, oh, I need this guy. And with so many good receivers coming into the league this year, and next year, it's like I feel like he's never gonna quite he is great on the Lions. I mean, obviously I watch a ton of NFC North football, and so he's awesome. But he's not. I don't think he's that guy who's gonna for whatever reason. I think he doesn't make enough explosive plays. That's what I think it boils down to. So,
but Detroit is ascending, and I would think that for like challenges and things like that, I think he would be
again. I think that the way I've framed these, I don't think you can go wrong with anybody.
Sure.
But anyway, I got some ones I want to get to here. Some burning ones. All right. Rookie. Sorry, not rookie. These are just debut onlys. So debut moment, Jordan Love. Debut moment, Jalen Hurts. 10,000 of each. They are both priced the exact same right now. I believe it's $8.
Yeah.
Which one are you taking? You got $8 in your pocket. You want Hurts or you want Love?
Hurts.
Really?
Oh yeah.
All right. We're disagreeing again. I would take Love all day, every day.
Listen, Jordan Love hasn't. I mean, I'm gonna break some hearts here, but Jordan Love hasn't done anything yet.
He was the second best quarterback in the NFL last year. Yeah. I mean, he had 30 something. I mean,
go back and watch an old episode of ours and hear us talking about Jordan Love halfway through the season. It wasn't until like halfway through the season that he started playing well. So again, it's just like Scott Mitchell. Scott Mitchell also had like a really good run back in the day.
I know for a fact in one of our old pack battles, I pulled Jordan Love and I'm pissed off about it. I'm like mad about it. And I like say something really negative about Jordan Love so bad that I even remember I was like, I'm sorry to Jordan Love and his family. So I'm completely guilty of that, but I got to say, like, look, was I wrong about Jordan Love? Absolutely.
Yes.
100%. Like, I did not think he was going to be. And so if he turns out to be a bum, then I was right. But like, I was dead wrong. Like when he showed up last year, I was like, wow, okay.
And I would like to say for all the people that have watched the episodes, if you go back, we'd have to dig it up. But there was an episode where we were picking like really bad moments that maybe could be worth something. And I picked my honorable mention, and it was Jordan Love. And you had a good laugh at me. But here we are.
I think at that point I said, you know what, maybe. The funniest thing is that I knew Jordan Love was going to have a good season last year because I got him in a bunch of packs. I kept pulling him in packs, and I'm like, great. Of course, like as a Bears fan, the last thing you want to do is pull a successful Packer who you have to hold on to because it's worth something. And sure enough, I did. All right, but you're taking Hurts because you don't think he's a one-hit wonder.
I don't think he's a one-hit wonder. I just think that again, it's like it's a bumpy road. I
think the Eagles are in trouble with I feel like the Eagles are going to be a little bit rough. It's going to be rough for the Eagles this year.
Yeah, I think the Packers might be in trouble.
I sure hope so. I hope it's because the Bears are so darn good. All right, let's stay in that. Let's stay a little bit in the NFC North, and we're going to go with two rare dynamic moment rookie debuts. Okay. So they're weighted the exact same. They're rookie moments, their debuts, their dynamics, and their rares. We got Puka Nacua, who there's 245 of him. 55 got burnt through the challenges. There's only 300
there's 255 left.
There's 245 left.
245.
And then we have Jaden Reed from the Packers. There's only 180 of him left. Who are you taking? And I forgot how much they're going for. I want to say it's like 155-ish, somewhere in the mid ones. But obviously Puka had a little bit better of a year. Jaden had a great year, but there's far fewer. There's only 180 of Jaden Reeds.
I'm going to go Puka.
Puka? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought about pulling this one. It felt a little too easy. I think Puka's the play. Even though there's a good chunk more or whatever, he was just so good last year, and it just seems like he's one of those guys that's going to be good every year.
Right, and I feel like Sean McVay just knows how to use him. And again, I mean, it could work both ways, but
there could be injuries. There could be a whole bunch of things.
Sure, so. there's always stuff. All right, hit me with the next one.
All right, next one. All right, we're going out AFC East. We are going common rookie debut moments. Breece Hall versus Garrett Wilson. Which jet are you taking and running with for $4?
I'll tell you right now, I've loaded the boat on Breece Hall, and I wish I would have loaded the boat on Garrett Wilson. I wish I could flip-flop them, so I would easily take Garrett Wilson now. So,
I mean, Garrett Wilson's only $4, dude. You could still load the boat. $4.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just saying, Breece Hall got really low, and I loaded the boat on him. So
yeah, Breece Hall got low because his knee got hurt. I'll tell you what, I think Garrett Wilson's going to be good next year. I think the Jets have a lot of receivers. I think Breece Hall is special. I think he's going to come back. People have slept on him. I'm going to go Breece Hall here.
You're right.
I hope I'm right too, but I'm just telling you right now.
Williams makes a comeback too, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, that's not happening. Breece Hall, if he gets back to even close to where he was dusting people. I mean, he was unbelievable last year or 2 years ago. Okay. Here's another one. All right. This is my wild card one. Saquon Barkley debut or Russell Wilson debut?
I like this one. I got to go Saquon Barkley.
All right. Why are you going Saquon Barkley?
Russell Wilson's just, again, there's the whole Justin Fields aspect of it. There's always when there's a backup just waiting to go, it's you got a shorter leash. I feel like Saquon's on the Eagles, right?
Yep.
And I feel again, he's going to be their big guy or one of their big guys. So it's they're going to be looking to him to be the dude. So it's Russell Wilson's they're looking at him to be the guy, but if he's not, they're going to pull him. And then that's just going to be that. I feel Saquon could have some peaks and valleys and have a couple good games and bounce back, and they're still going to be expecting him. So I feel there's more possibility with Saquon.
Yeah, but Saquon gets hurt more often too.
That's true, but Russell Wilson also,
he's pretty durable. I think he's had one. Yeah, he definitely sucked.
Yeah, Russell Wilson is such a wild card. You just don't know what you're going to get out of him. So again, I feel like
All
just
right.
based on that, like I wouldn't. I mean, again, yeah, I don't know if Justin. What? Who am I talking about? The guy from the Bears, Justin Fields. Um, like I just wonder, like if he's going to be any good. So I don't know if he's part of your.
Well, he's not. I
Oh,
didn't
okay.
make just because he's a backer right now. But here's my last one. This is a free for all. Okay.
Yep.
You've got sitting down at like the $2 range. You've got Chris Olave
Mm-hmm.
and Drake London, both rookie
Ooh.
debut common moments. Who you rolling with?
Well, I could be crazy and say Spencer Rattler is going to be one of the best players in the NFL, and Chris Olave is just going to blast off. But I'm going to go ahead and go with Drake London because I feel like he's got more of an upside, and obviously they've got uh,
Cousins.
Kirk Cousins there, so I feel like there's a lot more like possibility there.
I mean, I agree with you on that, but God, I feel like Olave is one of the better receivers in the NFL, and he's just wasting away in New Orleans. He is so good.
Yeah,
If you
I mean,
watch him play the way, like the catches he makes on bad throws, in small
yeah,
windows, he is, again, it's criminal what they're doing to him in New Orleans. He's just wasting away. There's a
I
ton of talent down there just wasting.
I really don't think you could like go wrong. I think those two are going to be fairly even. I don't think one of those is going to go way up and one's going to go way down. I feel like those
I
two
mean,
are going to probably be like,
yeah.
they'll probably if common debuts go up, they'll probably both rise equally. I don't see like much difference between those guys. Unless somebody gets hurt or, one of those types of things.
I mean, if one of them has a breakout year, I could see, one of them going, like right now they're both sitting at like $2, right? A breakout year, one of them's going to go up to 4 or 5. I could,
Sure.
like Jordan Love, for instance, Jordan Love was a dollar moment. Remember? We were trolling him, and he was a dollar moment. So, yeah.
All right. Well, hey, let me go ahead and rock your world with a couple.
All right.
All right. We've got, and you know how I love my comments, so I'm just going to go there. Christian McCaffrey debut or Derrick Henry debut?
I almost gave you that exact same one. Felt it was too easy. Christian McCaffrey debut all day. He's just so versatile, so good. Like I just look, Derrick Henry is amazing, but he's one dimensional. Christian McCaffrey is 2-dimensional. He's the best
But
back.
how many challenges has Derrick Henry been a part of? I feel like you gotta have your Derrick Henry moments.
You do, but I would still but just as many Christian McCaffrey's been a part of. So I would take Christian McCaffrey. I mean, Christian McCaffrey rares have been parts of tons of challenges. Now, that's not a debut, but if I'm investing in a debut of one of these guys, I'm taking McCaffrey. The other reason too is Henry's not at the end, but It feels like Henry is like got less left on the tire than McCaffrey does.
Okay. So what would you rather have invest in? A retired Aaron Donald or a retired Rob Gronkowski debut?
I'm going to go with Aaron Donald just because Gronk was a great tight end and possibly the best tight end, but Aaron Donald is possibly the best defensive player.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like when we talk about defensive player of the year awards, how many times he's been in that conversation.
Okay.
So.
All right. Now we're going to do a little bit something different here. It's called, is it a buy or is it not a buy based on the price? Matthew Stafford common debut at $4. Is that a buy or do you let that go lower? Like where is Matthew Stafford? Like it's a debut of Matthew Stafford. He could potentially be a Hall of Fame quarterback. Where is he a buy at?
$3.
Okay.
I'd put an alert on him. If he drops to 3, I'd buy.
Okay. Next one.
All right.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I saw a really interesting, I was watching a little interview with CJ Stroud where he was saying the only quarterback in the NFL that he watches, he's like, I watch a little bit of Mahomes, but the only guy that I watch is Matthew Stafford. Like that's how highly a lot of these quarterbacks think of him. Like they just think he is his arm talent, his vision. He was the guy that invented the no-look pass.
Sure.
So I'm a big fan of Matthew Stafford.
Got it. Okay, but you'd still say only $3. He's not worth picking up.
I mean, I'd pick him up at 4 if I really wanted him, but I already have a couple, so I'm going to say, yeah. If I'm telling you where I'm buying Matthew Stafford right now. It's at $3.
Okay. Where are you buying Baker Mayfield at?
$1.
$1. Okay. I mean, he's sitting at 3. I mean, he is a starting quarterback in the NFL. It could
Don't
be
care.
part of the chance. You don't care. Okay. What about TJ Watt, common debut?
TJ Watt, common debut.
That is his debut moment. It is currently sitting at $3.
That's good. So good for him. I would be a buyer at 2 or anything 2 or under.
Okay. Does he have is there any benefit to owning a TJ Watt debut?
He's been a part of some challenges for sure. Like there was a burn. I want to say there was a burn challenge that you needed his debut for.
Okay.
And you needed like 5 of them even, I think. So
I guess I'm just trying to find some of these players. I mean, we're talking about Matthew Stafford is a great player.
Yeah.
Essentially his debut, TJ Watt's debut, Christian McCaffrey's debut, these are low dollar moments. I know there's not enough buyers. We all know the problems, but it's just my question to you is, if we're smart, should we be loading the boat knowing that at some point, if this product ever does take off, that having these we're going to be these were sitting at $4. We could have just sat there and bought them repeatedly at $4.
So you're totally right, but what I'll say to me the problem is that when I look at Matthew Stafford, he doesn't have tons of years left, and so I got to think I'm looking at would I rather buy Matthew Stafford for $3, or would I rather buy like I said, Olave or Garrett Wilson or whoever for $3 or $4. So for me, it's that's the way I look at it. Is it just doesn't. It makes more sense to buy a guy who has got a good 5 or 6 years left on him versus someone who may only have 1 or 2.
Okay. Bryce Young, debut rare, dynamic moment. There is 259 left of them. It is currently sitting at $91. Is that a good value? Is that overpriced? What are you thinking?
That's a great example of are you a believer in Bryce Young? So right now I think Bryce Young is as low as he's going to be. I don't think, you know what I'm saying? Unless he comes out and just absolutely plays horrible again this year, which I don't think he will. I think he was just on a bad team last year.
Okay.
I don't think we know how bad he is, but the problem is he's small and he wasn't seeing over his line well. I don't know if he's just shook now. It could be like a Justin Fields situation where he never recovers. Mm-hmm. So, I think that at $91, I think that's a good, that's a fair price.
Right.
I just don't know how much I personally believe in Bryce Young to be buying him.
Got it. That leads me to my next one. And this is a 4-badge moment, okay? And this moment is going for $84, okay? And this is a quarterback, and this is Will Levis. Should anybody in their right mind be paying $84 for a rare Will Levis? Is that not, in my estimation, that is the most grossly overpriced debut moment in the history of grossly overpriced debut moments?
There are a lot of people who think Will Levis is going to be something. I don't think you and I are 2 of them.
Fair enough. Deebo Samuel, debut rare, $59.
I like that. That's a buy. That's a buy for me.
That's a buy. Okay. How about this one? This is one of my more this is the one that I sit there and constantly think about. Kyler Murray debut moment, $51. Could this guy just they got Marvin Harrison Jr. I mean, again, this was a lot of these we say they used to be this, they used to be that. Fine, whatever. But Kyler Murray at one point was the dude. Yeah. He had a couple off seasons. Could he just come back and be could he have a great year? I mean, again, $51 for a debut moment is I'm looking at Will Levis and going, that's again, it's got more badges on it, but it's Will Levis. It's if I put a bunch of badges on Malik Willis, would that be worth a bunch? I
think part of the reason why Will Levis has still got there's a portion of him that's unanswered. Whereas I think a lot of people, when they look at Kyler Murray, they're like, they feel like, oh, we know what he is. So
Okay.
Kyler Murray has more to overcome.
Sure.
But I mean, I do think Kyler Murray could, especially with a guy like a Marvin Harrison Jr. out there to throw to. The thing is, it really boils down to is like, what about the rest of his team? Like, that's great that he has this guy to throw to, but like, what, if he doesn't have, if he doesn't have other people supporting him, then it's like,
sure,
they're just going to double up Harrison Jr. and take him away and then say, okay, beat us with your other guys. And then what?
Got it.
Who's the number 2 receiver on the Cardinals, right? It's like, it's that rookie, or not a rookie, but it was the guy who was a young guy, Wilson, right?
That's a great question. I don't even know at this point. I feel like they have somebody else, and I'm just not thinking of it. Look it up.
Let's look.
All right.
Their other receiver is, Michael Wilson.
Okay, I was way off. I was unaware of that.
I mean, Michael Wilson's a good receiver, don't get me wrong.
Sure.
They did pick up Zay Jones from the Jags as their 3.
I did know that. Okay.
So, I mean, they got some okay guys, but
yeah,
Zay Jones isn't like,
No, he's a good like third receiver.
He's a good 3. He's a good 3. So
Great 3.
A lot is being put on Marvin Harrison Jr. coming in as the 1.
Got it. Okay, so here's my final question. I know we planned to talk about this, but I'm going to go ahead and bring it up. What is the moment that, like, what is the best investment? Like, if you had to say, I got to invest my bucks into some moment, what moment do you feel like has the best upside to it? Now, I mean, you can go legendary, like, say you've got a budget of like, $5,000. What are you going to spend it on? Are you going to like plop it all down on one like big Mahomes and then, get something else? Or where do you think your value's at?
If I had $5,000, let's say, okay.
Or would you just take it and run from all day? I don't know.
That's probably the smartest way to do it.
Yeah.
I think what I would do, like when I think of like, when I look at the moments right now, I think there's like kind of 2 moments that really stand out to me as like kind of the grail moments for people right now.
Sure.
And the first one is the Mahomes rare. So that's sitting at like what, 525.
Yep.
So I think that's a moment that, is worth investing. Like, again, it's like, if you believe, like if this product goes anywhere, does anything, that's a big, moment to invest in. Now, am I investing just for my own personal, or am I trying to maximize my gain?
I mean, I think just a little bit of both. I mean, I think everybody's got like there's a personal side, and there's also people that want it, like, you want to have a collection that you don't want to just be like, well, look at, I just got, a bunch of like, common guys that are worth nothing.
Here's the thing. It's like, I think if you are looking, like, let's just say that things got back to like even where they used to be, right? So let's say Mahomes gets back to $2,000, right? And you can buy him for 500. That's a 4x. There are plenty of like commons that are at $1, or debuts, things like that, like a Derrick Henry debut, like that. He's sitting at, what was it, $6 now? He used to be what, 50? I mean, that's way more than a 4x. So I think there is way bigger returns in the lower value cards, just like in anything. Like, more people can afford a common, so you're never going to get like the big bang return.
But you have to buy really like so many of them,
right? And that's the downside. But again, that's like, again, if you're buying these and you're trying to like maximize your investment, you're looking at this as like, hey, we got to add a bunch of people anyway, so that won't be the issue. But if, I guess if there's one moment right now that I would say is like the premium collectible moment in the ecosystem, like I think the Mahomes was it, but I gotta say, I think right now it's probably CJ Stroud rookie. Like, I know, I think that's the one. I mean, look at the value of that thing right now. The legendary of that thing is very sought after. I think it's $4,000. And when the thing drops down below 30, like, people buy it. I mean, people have been buying it for, $3,000. I mean, it's
Wow.
moved at that amount. So
That is
I
the
don't know if
moment
that's
I
where
would
it's,
not touch with a 10-foot pole.
I wouldn't spend $4,000 on it, but if it
Yeah.
dropped, but I would sit there and I would try to negotiate. I mean, like I'd be working
Right.
the phones trying to see if I could get a deal
Sure.
on it.
Wow. Interesting. Okay.
I mean, only because again, it's like, I think when you think about like potential, he's one of those guys where it's like, again, there's only 30 of them.
Yep.
That's his rookie moment.
Mhm.
That could be, if he winds up being the big dog, like everybody thinks he's going to be, kind of maybe not the next Mahomes, but like in the same kind of grouping. I mean, that could potentially, again, now,
Right.
but now that's not going to give you, like, you buy that moment for $3,000, maybe it goes to like 10, right? Like maybe
Right.
if you're super
Sure.
lucky and things go really well and the whole
Sure.
thing goes well. So again, that's not a great return. Like you're not going to return like you would return on. So again, like me personally, I'm just saying, like, I think that that's a very emotionally, not even for me or for you. I just think that people, if you were to survey
Yeah.
our people, if you could have any moment in the ecosystem,
Well,
I think most people would pick that moment.
Got it. Interesting.
So I think a lot of people take that moment over some of the ultimates, even, like, because the ultimates are like, they're nice, but they're not liquid. Like they don't, they don't sell like, I mean, digitally rare definitely changed that for a little while, but it's like, they don't just like,
sure. Got it. Fair enough.
What about you?
I mean, I would have to say, I mean, I agree on the Patrick Mahomes. I feel like that is like I mean, I've sat here and I've thought about that. Which moment, like, if you're going to take your bucks and you're going to invest it in something, I feel like the Patrick Mahomes is the safest one. If this thing goes anywhere, that moment will go up. So, I mean,
if you really wanted to be safe, I think you would take your 5,000, you'd buy 6 debuts, and then take the rest and put it into like common and uncommons of Mahomes and try to, just get value there. Because again, it's just like people, if again, the product has to take off for any of these things to be successful. And so if it does, then what you're, like the thing is who do people want? They're going to want the first person people are going to want is Mahomes. Like he's the most popular, recognizable person in the NFL. He's like the modern day Brady. So
again, I guess that's kind of where I'm going. Is if I had the money, I would buy like 4
I
Mahomes.
agree. I'm just saying,
I would load up on the common Brady.
The common Brady.
I feel like that's the one. Like at the end of the day, like 20 years from now, if people are like, hey, like you think about after 20 years of like challenges and stuff like that, it's gonna get like they're gonna burn some of those out. It's gonna get washed out.
And but there's 10,000.
You and I have sat here and said 10,000 is not that many.
It's not, but it's still like, meaning like if a million people. Here it goes. We got the old thumbs up going. If a million people join tomorrow, a million people are going to want Brady. A million people are going to want Mahomes. A million people, So it's, if there's 10,000 Bradys, it's going to drive the price up, but not like it's going to drive the price up when there's only 800 Mahomes or 900 or 1,000, whatever.
Right, and I'm agreeing. I'm saying the Mahomes one is probably the one, but I do think that at the end of the day, I feel like that Brady one, it just.
I think it's good, but I think the fact that he doesn't play anymore hurts it.
Absolutely, but again, it's just the way people feel about Brady. It's just like he's cemented himself as like the guy, and it's like it's his debut.
Agree. Yep.
And I mean, I think the only thing that kind of brings it down a little bit is that he's in a Buccaneers uniform.
Yeah.
But outside of that, it's just like, again, at like $50. I mean, if somebody told me like, a couple of years from now, it's a $500 moment, I'd be like, yeah, okay.
I mean, I wouldn't disagree, but if someone told me that, like when you look at like a floor, a common, the common from Sears, whatever, is only 3,000, and like that's the limit. And you told me that those had a base price of $10. That wouldn't, and you can go buy them for 30 cents right now. That wouldn't,
correct.
That wouldn't blow me up. I mean, that would, that would be, I'd be like, yeah, I could see that. I could totally see that happening.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But anyway, yeah. So it's an interesting discussion, but nonetheless, it opens up. So curious, watchers, viewers, what's your grail? Like what, like again, we're curious. Like if first of all, if you, like who would you invest in or who are you investing in, right? And then on top of that, like if you had, like one moment that you could really get or focus in on, right, and keep the values equal, right? So if you're saying, oh, I want the CJ Stroud legendary because it's $4,000, well, you could have had 8 Mahomes debuts. Like,
Sure.
keep the dollar value equal, but like, where would you put your let's call it 5K. Where would you put your $5,000 into NFL All Day if someone gave you that gift card tomorrow? Where would you spend it?
Right. And it's a gift card, you got to spend it here. So we don't need the
can't cash it out. You
right.
can't wish for more wishes. None of that bullshit.
Yeah.
Just play the fucking game. Spend your 5K in the marketplace and tell us what you'd buy.
Yep. Agreed.
Right on. All right.
Well, I think that was a long one.
Yeah, it was. We're gonna have to chop this shit up and put it on Twitter so people actually listen to us.
Right on. All right, I'm gonna get out of here. I'll catch you later.
Sounds good.
Peace.